Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Sean O'Malley predicts Cejudo's retirement after withdrawing from the Marlon Vera fight. As you all know, the comeback of Cejudo to the UFC. But his return was met with mixed results. It was a big deal when he decided to end his retirement and make his way back into the octagon. Fans were excited to see him back in action, but things didn't quite go as planned. In May, Cejudo stepped into the cage to face Aljamain Sterling for the bantamweight title. It was a highly anticipated fight. At that moment, everyone had their eyes on it. But unfortunately for Cejudo, things didn't go his way. The fight went the distance, and it was a split-decision victory for Sterling. Despite the defeat, Cejudo expressed his strong desire to continue fighting and even called out Merab Dvalishvili for his next bout. Man, just check the level of his determination. However, things took an unexpected turn for Cejudo. He got booked to compete at UFC 292 against Marlon Vera. Right before the fight could take place, news broke that Cejudo had to withdraw due to a shoulder injury. It was an unfortunate setback for Cejudo and a complete disappointment for fans. I think what happened is Dana said, "Hey, Henry, careful though. You go out there and beat Cheeto, you have to fight Sean." I think he said, "Oh, my shoulder. I think this. Henry is done for good. He is done. He is retired. He is not coming back," Sean O'Malley said about Henry Cejudo. He tried to come back and no one cared. He got paid a little bit of money, a shoulder injury, so that must have been pretty bad that he couldn't fight. Dude, and he's already 36. Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley believes Cejudo's shoulder injury may lead to his retirement rather than his return in the octagon. Certainly, O'Malley gears up for his UFC 292 against Aljamain Sterling with hopes of facing Cejudo in a title defense. Now it seems that this matchup will materialize. Ngannou and Fury's showdown is under progress. Let's catch the recent excitement from the turning events of UFC. Eddie Hearn stirred up some excitement. He claimed that a potential matchup between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury is in the works. A few months ago, Ngannou joined the Professional Fighters League, PFL. A big move, right? This decision came with significant financial benefits and more freedom for Ngannou to explore opportunities for a boxing career. Furthermore, Eddie Hearn expressed his belief that Ngannou versus Fury could be the next fight for both fighters. In actuality, Hearn does not promote Fury, but he is well connected in the boxing world. A point to be noted, while Ngannou experienced by leaving the UFC could be lost if he and Fury engage in an exhibition match. On the other side, Fury may have questionable personal associations. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers in history. Although he may be past his prime, Fury still exceeds anyone without extensive professional boxing experience. Even if the fight turns out to be one-sided, it would have been more captivating. We've seen high-profile matches like McGregor versus Mayweather receive the full pro treatment, so why not give Ngannou versus Fury the same treatment? Furthermore, taking on Fury as his first boxing opponent would be the worst possible fight for Ngannou at this stage. Just imagine if the bout ends up being a boring affair with no decision after several rounds of Ngannou chasing and missing Fury. Then surely it would do little to enhance his boxing career. At this point, Ngannou should secure victories against lesser-known opponents before facing fighters like Fury, Joshua, or Wilder. Pereira criticizes Magomedov's fake record after lackluster performance. Guys, the aftermath of Abus Magomedov's performance was quite intense. Here, former UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira didn't hold back his thoughts on his latest performance. You know, it was a huge opportunity for Magomedov, because this was a main event matchup with a top 10 ranked contender. But sadly, he couldn't make the most of the moment and was completely outclassed by Tarzan. He finished him off in less than 2 rounds. His hard luck for sure, while Alex Pereira didn't mince his words. He took to his YouTube channel to express his frustration over Magomedov's amateur-like performance in his second appearance. He had high hopes for him and considered the opportunity given to Magomedov. The loss must have been disappointing for Pereira, who undoubtedly had high hopes for Magomedov's potential. Abus started strong and Strickland was leading with his pressure and was growing at the end of the first round, and in the second round, this guy, Abus, was dead. Dead. Pereira said. The tension between Alex Pereira and Abus Magomedov is heating up. It all started when Magomedov made quite a bold statement after his successful UFC debut. He suggested that he could defeat both Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira on the same night. That's quite a claim to make considering the caliber of fighters we're talking about here. Usually, Pereira couldn't resist doing a little digging on this surging standout. He wanted to see if Magomedov's record was as impressive as it seemed. And let's just say Pereira didn't seem too convinced. He quickly started questioning the authenticity of Magomedov's seemingly manufactured record. Certainly, he wanted to ensure that Magomedov's skills and achievements were genuine before taking his claims seriously. Gradually, things became interesting. The champions start challenging each other and making big statements. Pereira's research and subsequent doubts only add fuel to the fire. It's certainly a storyline worth keeping an eye on in the world of mixed martial arts. All of you watch the fight. A guy who, I will repeat, has a fake record. He has a lot of fights, but against who? If you watch the fight, you see this guy was turning his back to the referee, showing to everybody, as well as to the referee, that he didn't want to fight anymore. It was very difficult for him, Pereira concluded. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. Brown predicts Diaz will be destroyed by Paul in boxing debut. Here, the anticipation for Nate Diaz's pro boxing debut against Jake Paul is building up. You already know that he spent 15 years inside the octagon. Now, Stockton Samurai is ready to step into the squared circle on August 5th. However, Randy Brown has some strong opinions about Diaz's chances in this matchup. However, Brown made a bold statement, but he seems to have his reasons, despite Diaz having a well-respected stand-up game in mixed martial arts. There, the odds are stacked against him as a plus 245 underdog a month before the fight. That's why Brown believes that it reflects the difference in skill sets between Diaz and Paul. Now, it's interesting to see the contrasting opinions surrounding this bout. Boxing versus mixed martial arts always sparks debates. I think Nate Diaz doesn't have great boxing. I think he has great elements of boxing. I think there's things that he incorporates well from boxing in his game. And he has great drop punches because he carries his hands very high, so there's no tell, and then he just drops them on you, Brown told Inside Fighting. Jake Paul's boxing career has certainly been capturing attention. He currently holds a record of 6-1 as a professional boxer. But you know what? Jake Paul's victories have mostly been against non-boxers. It's an interesting debate on his boxing skills. Now we'll see how he fares against experienced boxers in his next fight. White reflects on his bond with Kobe Bryant during UFC purchase. Last but not least, it's always nice to hear about those special bonds in the world of sports. So back in the summer of 2016, when the UFC was going through that buyout, a lot of executives were gathered. But Dana White, being the dedicated guy he is, decided to stick around. At the moment to purchase the UFC, someone showed up. And guess who was the one? None other than Kobe Bryant himself. But it didn't stop there. Kobe and Dana didn't just become business partners, they formed a genuine connection. Even after that meeting, they stayed in contact. Later on, they both appeared together at a press conference. There was mutual respect and friendship between the two. In a recent interview, Dana White expressed his admiration. He also highlighted how excited the former Lakers player was to be part of the UFC back in 2016. "I knew him personally. He and I were friends," Dana White stated in the interview when asked about Kobe Bryant. "He invested in the UFC. When Endeavor bought, they let all their clients come in and take a piece. He took a piece. Not only was he like Michael Jordan with the same mentality which I love and respect so much, but he was an incredible human being." He continued, "He was such a good guy. I'll never forget where I was when Kobe died. Right when all the celebs were about to cash out on their UFC thing, it was like days before he passed away. He was super pumped about the investment, and I love Kobe." All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.